does need to be passed down the chain. I'm going to get back to Kanishk now, and I would ask my panelists kindly to be a little more concise in this next round of questions because I think there will be a lot of Q&A. Of course, you mentioned in your first intervention, Kanishk, the challenges that blending and control points pose for traceability. So I think everybody here knows that there are a lot of outstanding areas of opacity in mineral supply chains and in transparency in general. So when this happens, what do you do to ensure that due diligence still happens?
Thanks, Ben. So some of the things that we've been doing, and this is since 2021, is asking suppliers in specific categories to align with industry certifications. Some of those that we are also discussing, today in this conference. And we have been steadily increasing our spend with those suppliers who are aligned with these industry certifications. Now, it's not the only requirement. There are other requirements as well. You can find the details of that entire program in our sustainability report. The 2004 version was released a couple of weeks back. But that certainly is one. And we have a target of achieving a particular degree of spend with suppliers for those specific minerals who are aligned with industry certifications. That's one part of it. Another thing that we are doing is adding the OECD due diligence framework into our raw material contractual instruments. So it is explicitly mentioned, included now in our contracts, in our frameworks that we do with our suppliers. That's another area of introducing the demand and increasing the conversation on this topic. The third is whenever we are having strategic conversations with our upstream suppliers, we specifically ask for human rights due diligence, conducting third-party assessments, um, and we often see there is a lack of, let's say, misalignment of ambition. Uh, so there is still some work that we need to do with our suppliers to make sure that we are aligned and it's a common set of objectives that we are aiming to achieve. We are also, the fourth part is we are also initiating the conversation. So the collective part is extremely important piece. We've already initiated a conversation within the peers of the capital goods segment. So there are a certain number of like-minded, like-sized companies that we are in conversation, and it's still at a very nascent stage, very early stage, but we are increasingly making the case for companies coming together and putting a common set of requirements to our suppliers and the upstream in general. And one thing which is extremely important is it's not only important that it remains a sectoral collaboration, but rather it has to be a cross-sectoral collaboration. Segments or industries in automotive, in renewable energy. Uh, when we talk about critical minerals, the moment we cross tier 1 or tier 2, essentially it's a common pool of suppliers or the supply chains that caters to all of us. So, and it's a typical procurement approach. You pool in your demands, you pool in your volumes to get the best leverage with your supplier. So typically, this is exactly what it is. We all need to come together, talk, and put up a common voice across sectors as a demand for the upstream supply chain. And this is extremely important when we talk about, let's say, issues which do not have a very straightforward answer. When it comes to the rights of the indigenous communities, when it comes to the free and informed prior consent, when it comes to the traditional approaches of benefit sharing with the communities, these are some approaches for which there is no binary answer, there is no clear-cut answer. So there has to be a consensus-driven approach. If I alone go or my company goes and talks, it won't work out. So we need to have the industry together to have that conversation. And finally, uh, an ideal solution for me would look like having a mine certification, a facility or a smelting certification, and then a chain of custody. But end result that we want to see is we are not inadvertently contributing to anything bad which is happening in the upstream. What shape and form that arrangement picks up, it's immaterial. So whatever works best, whatever gets everybody along, I think that is what we are happy to support. Thank you.
Thanks, Kanishk. And again, of course, yeah, highlighting the importance of leverage there. I think, yeah, embedding requirements into contracts and then being able to hold suppliers accountable, that's really important too. Um, Moving back to Eve now,